According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 27.5% of the population have bachelor's degrees, while only 10.1% have an advanced degree or higher. If you ask me, it's because that 17.4% never completed their grad school applications. Well, completing grad school applications is an extremely stressful process for most people, including me. But it doesn't have to be stressful for you because I'm going to navigate you through the process of successfully completing graduate school applications. To do this, first I'm going to talk to you about some important skills for work management. Then I'm going to share with you the basics of supplementary materials. And lastly, I will talk to you about deadlines, which are the most dreadful. In terms of work management skills, first it is important that you gather all application requirements for each school and put them together in one place. I applied to 12 schools, and so I did this by using a file folder. Next, make sure that you have a quiet place to work, and also schedule time in your week in order to work on grad school applications. Both of these are important to prevent mistakes. Critical mistakes. Lastly, one thing that I found helpful was to have an application completing session with another person. Completing grad school applications does take a lot of time, but if you and another person sit down together and work on them, you can get a lot done in a short amount of time because completing applications is also very repetitive. Now that we've talked about work management skills, we can talk a little bit about the supplementary material. Supplementary materials are extremely important. A few that you might run into are a CV or a resume, a personal statement, letters of recommendation, a departmental application, as well as GRE scores and official transcripts. A CV is basically an academic resume. It includes a lot of the same things that a resume does, but in much more detail than a resume allows. The thing about a personal statement that most people dread is that it needs to be tailored to each institution that you apply to, but it is also your only opportunity to explain to institutions why that is the school for you. My advice for those is to start them early, to complete many drafts over time, and to get a lot of eyes to look at them and give you feedback. Letters of recommendation are important because they are a huge factor in admission decisions most of the time. I would recommend asking the people that you want to write for you whether they will do so at least 2 months before the application deadline, and to supply them with a document listing the schools and programs that you're applying to, their due dates, and any other directions per the school. Be aware for departmental applications because they may be separate from the graduate school application that you need to complete online. In terms of GRE scores and official transcripts, I recommend having them sent at least a month before the application deadline, and also remember to order copies for yourself. Now that we have talked a little bit about the basics of supplemental materials, we can talk about those dreaded deadlines. My advice for deadlines is short and sweet. First of all, make sure that you start them early. I recommend at least 2 months before the application deadline to make sure that you have plenty of time to get them done. Secondly, set a personal deadline for yourself for about 2 weeks before the application deadline, just to make sure that you have time to get your ducks in a row, hound your recommenders about making sure that they get their letters submitted on time, and most importantly, just to sleep and breathe. Hello? Hello? Are you still awake? Well, whether you're still with me or you're just rejoining me, let's recap. In order to successfully complete graduate school applications, remember work management skills, to complete any supplementary materials to your application, and to meet deadlines by starting applications early and finishing in plenty of time just so that you can tie up loose ends. So now that I've given you some advice about how to complete your graduate school applications, I am confident that you will not only take these tips, but that you will have a much smoother application completion process than I did. Good luck!